What's up guys, it's your boy DS, and today we're going to be talking about which Wayfinder you should choose. Now, this is going to be a general video going over all of the different Wayfinders in the game, just so that you guys can get a better understanding of the different classes that are in this game. Now, I will be making videos over each character individually, but I want to go ahead and make this general video so that you guys can get just some information on, who you might want to be looking at. The game doesn't come out in early access until August 15th. And like I said, over the next couple days, I'll be making videos over each character individually, going a lot more in depth so that you guys can get a lot more information on that as well. Now, before we get into everything, how this game works is you start your game, you start your account, and you're able to pick a Wayfinder. Once you pick your Wayfinder, you will have to unlock the other Wayfinders to be able to play as them. But how this game works, you're not going to have to restart every time you want to play a new Wayfinder. You have one account, and whenever you want to switch to another Wayfinder, you will simply switch over to that Wayfinder. Also, no matter what Wayfinder you're using, your progress will all be to one account. It will all progress together. Now that we've got all of that out of the way, I do want to let you guys know there are going to be 6 characters on release, and there will be a new character every season, and seasons last for 3 months. I do want to start off with the first character, which is going to be Wingrave. Wingrave excels at close combat. He specializes in supporting allies, summoning shields of light, and healing his allies, even as he calls down divine judgment on his enemies. Now, as far as Wingrave goes, he is going to be a very traditional healer, tank, support type of class. He is going to be very tanky. He is going to have different shields and things like that to protect his allies, but on top of that, he's able to heal his allies in a multitude of ways as well. This is going to be the easiest class in the game, simply because there's not going to be too much you have to worry about, and since you're going to be very tanky and able to heal yourself, you are going to have a lot of survivability as well. This is definitely a class that if you guys are usually the support in the group, maybe you play Mercy or something in Overwatch, or you play a healer in any other game, this may very well be a character that you guys want to look at. Also, if you're not entirely sure what to play, this is a class that is going to be really good to learn the game on, simply because it's very simple, so you don't have to worry about anything else. The next Wayfinder I want to talk about is Silo. Now, Silo is going to be a ranged crowd control Wayfinder. I'm not entirely sure what class you would put him in, but if I had to put him in some class, it'd be more so of like a gunslinger type of class. He has a lot of gadgets and gizmos that he's able to use to shape the battlefield while also doing damage from range with his weapons. Silo switches easily between melee and ranged combat and is at his best when he embraces this versatility. He has a host of tactical tools. He can distract his foes with illusions, slow them with oil, or burn them with fire, potentially setting off deadly chain reactions. If you guys have ever played a game where you're kind of like the gunslinger, or you're like an in and out type of character, Silo may very well be the character for you. If you guys have played Overwatch, he kind of reminds me of a mix between like Ashe and Junkrat, simply because he can throw the oil slick down, he can throw the fire down, he does have some up close things, and he does have some range as well. He has a whole multitude of things in his arsenal and at his disposal to allow him to combat enemies at the close to mid-range level. Now, once again, I will be making videos going over everything more in depth, so stay tuned for that. But if this looks like somebody you guys want to play, maybe Silo is the person for you. The next character I want to talk about is going to be Niss. Now, Niss is an Eldrin shadow dancer and is at her best when she's in motion. She dances around her enemies, defending herself with the cloak of shadows and striking them down with spectral blades. I'm going to tell you up front immediately, Niss is going to be your traditional rogue assassin type of character. If you guys play assassins in most games, or you're just looking to be super fast, dashing in and out and weaving through enemies, Niss is clearly going to be one of the best choices for you. Now, I'm going to tell you up front, she is one of the hardest characters to play in the game, simply because in typical assassin or rogue fashion, she is going to be pretty much a glass cannon. She does dish out tons of damage, but she is going to have a couple of different types of combinations of moves that you will have to know and be able to utilize properly to get your maximum damage out. Also keep in mind, since she's a glass cannon, she is going to be very squishy and a lot more susceptible to dying than a lot of the other characters. You get Silo, he has the range and he has ways to basically get the enemies off of him. And you look at Wingrave, Wingrave is going to be a super tanky upfront character, not to mention he can heal himself and the team if need be. So as far as those three characters go, Niss is clearly already going to be the one that is going to be the squishiest and in the most trouble if she is getting a lot of damage done to her. But like I said, she does have a lot of dashes, and whenever it comes to her ultimate ability, it basically allows her to dash as many times as she wants. She does have a move that basically makes her not able to take damage for a few seconds, so that is going to be really good. But overall, if you guys like assassin type characters, Niss is clearly going to be the option for you. Now that we're done talking about Niss, I do want to talk about Senja. Now I'm going to tell you guys right now, as far as the classes go, a lot of these classes do have some non-traditional stuff, but as far as Niss goes, I think Niss is very traditional when it comes to being a rogue or assassin player, and Senja is very, very traditional when it comes to being a tank slash bruiser player. So if you guys, I keep going to Overwatch because I just know it's a very easy way to understand because it's been out for so long. As far as Overwatch goes, if you guys play any type of character that's a bruiser, basically Doomfist, Senja is going to be the character for you. Now, like I said, the reason why I say tank and bruiser type of playstyle is because Senja has a taunt, but not only does she have a taunt, she can dish out tons of damage, and she does have that bruiser playstyle with being able to punch and, knock enemies down. Now, when it comes to Senja, she loves to put on a show. She delights in close combat and could use her affinity for the storm to drag her enemies close or blast them across the battlefield in a burst of lightning. So when it comes to Senja, she actually has a decent amount of crowd control. She can pull enemies to her, she can knock enemies back, but along with that, she is very, very tanky while also dishing out tons of damage. And that's why I say not only is she a tank, she's more so of a bruiser. So if you guys are looking to be a lot more supportive, Wingrave may be the character for you. But if you guys are looking to be more aggressive when it comes to being tanky, Senja may be the answer that you guys are looking for. Now that we're done talking about Senja, I do want to talk about Kyros. Now, like I said, when it comes to Niss being traditional for rogues or assassins, and Senja being pretty much traditional for a bruiser, Kyros is actually the opposite. He is a non-traditional mage. Now, while he prefers to avoid close combat, Kyros wields tremendous mystical power. He can scatter foes with blasts of raw energy and crush enemies with a massive shockwave. Now, I'm going to tell you guys right now, Kyros is for all intensive purposes a battle mage. Now, the difference between him and traditional mages, he doesn't really just sit back. You know, a lot of mages would just sit in the back and dish out damage from as far as possible. Kyros kind of likes to get in the mix a little bit. I'm not going to say he's purely close range, but he's more so close to mid-range combat as far as everything that he's going to be doing and utilizing in his kit. A lot of his moves are mid-range moves. You will be using a melee weapon with him, so you can play some close range as well. But when we get down to what he really wants to do, he is purely going to be damage. Now, if we're talking damage and you look at someone like Niss being an assassin, she is pretty much going to be burst damage. She's going to have high amounts of damage in short bursts. When we talk about Kyros, Kyros is pretty much just going to be massive DPS over the course of the battle. It doesn't matter what instance of the fight you're at, he's pretty much going to be doing damage non-stop as long as the pressure isn't on him. So if you guys are looking for a mage type of character, Kyros may very well be the character for you. Just understand he's not necessarily a traditional mage where he sits at long range as far as possible. He's more so a mage where you do kind of get inside the mix and you're kind of in the middle of battle. Last but not least, I want to talk about Venomess. Now, this is the character that is going to be releasing with Season 1, so she will be in the game when the game goes into early access on the 15th. The thing about Venomess is she is kind of similar to Wingrave as far as she can actually heal her teammates with her poison. Venomess loves to play with her prey, and she can switch between ranged and melee combat with ease. Her chemicals can poison her enemies and strengthen her allies, and her thrusters give her tremendous mobility. I'm going to tell you guys right now, as far as everything I've seen, Venomess seems very fun to play because she does have these thrusters that allow her to move around the battlefield. But not only that, she has multiple ways of proccing poison on the enemies, and then after putting poison on the enemies, she can use that poison to heal her allies. She is a character that you will be switching from range to melee with, and I know that she can heal, but when it comes to Wingrave is more of a defensive healer, but Venomess is more of an aggressive healer. So if Wingrave is more akin to Reinhardt with healing, Venomess is more akin to Moira. You know, Moiras do tons of damage while healing the team and getting in and out whenever they need to. I feel like Venomess is a character that kind of does exactly that. So if you guys are looking for a character like that, be sure to play Venomess. So anyways, there you guys go. That is going to be the 6 Wayfinders that are going to be out when early access releases on the 15th. And on top of that, I will be making videos over each character individually so that you guys can get all the specifics on exactly what they do, and I'll be breaking down exactly how they play so that you guys can have all that information as well. I'll also be making videos over everything else also, so you guys can stay tuned for that as well. But anyway, that is going to be it for this video. Be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, comment down below, tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. With that being said, I will see you guys next time. Peace.